I was just reciting a sequence of ayat where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off describing signs, miracles. Sign and ayah in the Quran means a sign or a miracle, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off with the first ayah min ayatihi. That not the Imam and not Sheikh Nabil, anyone else? And خلقكم من تراب ثم إذا أنتم بشر تنتشرون. Okay, so he gets points because he at least tried. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about human beings that He created from amongst His signs, from amongst His miracles, is all human beings are created equally. We believe as Muslims there's no racism. All human beings are created equally, and this is confirmed by the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he says, all of you are from Adam, and Adam is from Turab. All of you are equal, right? You can't say I'm more superior because I'm white, or I'm more superior because I'm rich, or I'm more superior because I'm from this family or from this country. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us all equally. So that's the first sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is He created us from turab, from dust, and then we became bashar, we became human beings, this form that you see. Tantashirun means we spread out all over the earth. You know, I often give this example. So I travel a lot, and when you're traveling, you meet amazing people, right? You meet amazing people everywhere, but when you're traveling, you have nothing to do but to talk to people. And they'll say things like, you know, I'm from Florida, and my husband is from here, and we have kids that were born in Virginia, and then one moved to Texas, and one moved in France, and one's married to someone from Egypt. Oh, look, you know, and so this is basharun tantashirun. Human beings that spread all over the earth, that intermarried, that created new races, that created new human beings, you know, and so there's no perfect race. You can't say someone is white. There's no such thing. We're all interblended from amongst each other. That's the first sign. The second sign I call the ayah of romance in the Quran. This is the most romantic ayah in the Quran. So I need for the brothers to say it so the sisters are happy because they're watching you on camera. So, you know, the brother that says it gets the flowers from the wife today. ومن آياته أن خلقكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها أيوة وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك الآيات لقوم يتفكرون. And from amongst yourselves, so miracle number 2, we're all created equal. Miracle number 2 is He created us in two types of sexes, two types of beings, a man and a woman, so that we may marry and have second. What does second mean in Arabic? Second. الهدوء أو البيت يعني. Right? So you go home at the end of the day to your second, right? And so it means a place that brings you calm and peace. So a companion in which you can discuss how you're feeling and tell her about the food you like, and she tells you about the ring she wants you to buy, etc., right? So this is called second in Arabic. So taskunu ilayha means the marital relationship is meant to be about peace and quiet and respect, right? وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instinctively in this relationship put two things, mawadda wa rahma. Mawadda means love. Wa rahma means mercy. Okay. Now the Quran is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and everything is very precise. Super precise. Like they're not just picked at random. Oh, I love you and I respect you. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means something by each of these. So brothers, to get extra points, besides the brother that answered the first question, why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say mawadda wa rahma? Let me ask a follow-up question. Is anyone here engaged or recently married? No one's engaged or recently married? He's banging on your shoulder, man. Are you shy? Like, is she watching you or? No? Okay. So that was a fake knock. Okay. So no one is recently married or engaged? SubhanAllah. All right, so mawadda is what happens when you're opening doors and you're buying flowers and you're saying whatever you like. And she says, like, let's share a dish at the restaurant. You say, of course, because you just got married and you're, you know, totally in love with each other, right? This is called mawadda. This is called the phase of mawadda. Oh, would you like to buy, you know, this expensive piece of furniture? Of course, let's buy 2 of them, right? That is the phase of mawadda, right? And then as life moves on and life kicks in, and specifically kids start to happen, right? And now the focus is different, right? The focus is now about which school are they going to go to, and how am I going to fund Rise, and you know, how am I going to make sure they get a good education, and she's worried about other things, and so on and so forth. You know, naturally it starts to change. It doesn't mean that it goes away, it just changes, it evolves, right? And so later on in life, it becomes about rahmah, it becomes about mercy, right? The fact that, you know, you've lived together for so long, right? And you know, things the balances start to sway, and that's okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that's okay. That's normal in a relationship, right? So mawadda wa rahma. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't stop. He goes, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. What does tafakkur mean in Arabic? Constantly think and analyze. Constantly think and analyze. We're not stagnant people. We're always thinking. These are ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same way you go outside, you look at the sky, you look at the moon, and you say, subhanAllah, these are ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying the relationships that you're in are actually an ayah from the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the third ayah, and we'll stop here inshallah. There's a lot of discussion now, if you're following the news, about DEI, right? DEI. This is halal DEI. This is the Islamic version of DEI in the Quran. So what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the following ayah? وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. You guys are looking at me like I'm from the moon. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. Sam? قول يا إمام. خلق السماوات والأرض. What does خلق السماوات والأرض mean? The creation of the heavens and the earth. So look up above. There's miracles in the heavens and the earth. You know, it's an amazing thing if you're in Seattle on a reasonably sunny day. The sun today was changing. I was in a room that had the sun coming in, and so when the sun was up, everyone was happy, but they put down the shades because they couldn't see the other side of the room. And then when the sun was down, we put up the shades, and so we were upside down a little bit. But in the morning, you see the mountains, and you see the ocean, and you see the boats, and you see the people in the streets, and so forth. When nighttime comes and you don't see all of that, what lights up? The heavens, the sky and the heavens. So the light changes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a different scenery at night. Now you can see the skies and the moon and the stars. And this is خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, the creation of the heavens and the earth and the things that you see and take advantage of. وَاخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ. What does al-sina mean in Arabic? Language, tongues. Tongues? Who says languages? So he says tongues. Languages? Anyone?
Could be dialects.
Languages? Dialects, mashallah. So that's actually the right definition. This is the precision of the Quran. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Al-sinatikum. And an al-sun in Arabic literally means a tongue. Translated, it means a tongue. Lugha in Arabic means a language. If you speak a language, you speak Arabic, that's called a lugha. But tongue is different in English. So not only does it represent different languages, it represents different dialects of the same language, potentially in the same space. Yesterday I was at a dinner, and one of the people there was from Germany, and she started to say, we have relatives in Switzerland who also speak German, but they speak the Swiss dialect of German. And when she goes to visit her relatives with her husband, they insist on speaking the Swiss dialect of German in a way that she doesn't understand it. She doesn't understand any of it, yet it's both German. The Egyptian version would be, if you're from Cairo, you speak Cairo Arabic, if there's such a thing. But if you're from Sa'id, which we make all the jokes about in Egypt, right, the south of Egypt, you speak a different dialect. And you see them in movies and TV shows and so forth, a very specific dialect. It's like the US, the dialect they speak in Atlanta or, Mississippi is different to the dialect they speak in New England. This is called al-sina. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't just call out the delineation in languages, but even within the same place, the differences in the dialects of the same language. وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ. What does alwan mean? The colors of your skin. So even the color of the skin, which is a big deal, and do you have diverse people? How many people do you have of minority cultures in your team? Blah, blah, blah. All of that's gone now. But nevertheless, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls it out in the Quran, that all of you are created from different colors and races as part of the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you should be observing, you should be recognizing and understanding, right? إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةٍ لِلْ. What's the last word in the ayah? عَالِمِينَ. عَالِمِينَ. What does عَالِمِينَ mean? People of knowledge. It comes from the Arabic word ilm. People of knowledge. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala acknowledges that when, or encourages us that when we see these ayat, the simplest of things that we take for granted every day, the creation from dust and the equality of human beings, the relationships in marriage and how it progresses and evolves over time, and the fact that we're all created from different, colors, and at the same time we speak different dialects even within the same language, all ayat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.